DJI Avata 360 release date set. Got that coming up next. Bill, the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Ron Brunt. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest about DJI, including the breaking news today that the DJI Avata 360 release date and time have been set. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. We found some great news. The Avata 360 has a release date. In the first article
we woke up to a nice teaser this morning.
We sure did, and we're going to see that here in a minute. The first article that I want to share, and this is from Drone DJ. DJI Avata 360 is likely the last new DJI drone you can buy in the U.S. Here is why, and it's great. It's a good article by Hey Kesselou right here. Cleared the FCC deadline that shut out every other future DJI drone. What FCC approved actually means for U.S. buyers right now. And he gets all into all the technical details.
I'm going to stop you just for a second there. We just talked about the Lito. As far, again, unless it was inaccurate, we were told the Lito got FCC approval. So this won't be the last drone. It'll be the Lito.
I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to say, Ron. Yeah. That, you know, while this article is kind of like eye candy and it draws your attention, in essence, it's not correct because the Lito is going to be the last DJI
I guess
drone.
maybe they didn't consider the Lito because the Lito is kind of like, you know, what do you call it? It's DJI's budget line. It's kind of technology we've all seen before. There's going to be nothing new in the Lito that's not already on another drone.
Right. Gray market pre-orders are already live and carry real risks. And again, you know, we've talked about that before. Drone XL's take, the Avata 360 genuinely one of the last new DJI drones American pilots will be able to buy through normal retail channels, at least until the Ninth Circuit course resolves or Congress changes course. The DJI Mini 5 Pro, the Avata 360, and a handful of other products that cleared authorization before December 22nd are it. Everything DJI announces after that date stays off U.S. shelves under current rules, okay? And that's something that we do know and that we're aware of. You know, the article was just to kind of bring your attention to the fact there's going to be one of the last. It's not going to be the last, but it's going to be one of the last, okay? Because we still have the Lito and we still have the Pocket 4, okay? Those have received FCC approval prior to that date in December, so we'll still be able to purchase them. I want to make sure that everybody's absolutely 100% crystal clear on that.
Okay? Yeah, I mean, you know, we're still going to the first quarter of 2026. We're still getting the DJI drone. You won't be able to buy them through the DJI store because of the Uyghur Act, but they'll be legal to fly in the U.S. if you can get them through eBay. It's the second half of this year, Bill, of 2026, that we'll be sidelined from new releases.
Exactly. Now, I really can't play the clip, but I'm going to kind of move my cursor along to show
I played it last night. Just turn the music down. I haven't got a takedown notice yet, Bill, and it's been over 24 hours since I played it.
Okay.
Just mute the music.
Yeah, let me go ahead. I
played the DJI. I played the DJI. You know, whatever you want to call them, leaks, trailers for years now, and I turned the music down. I've never got anything from.
Okay,
YouTube.
So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring that up here. Share screen.
Because basically, this is a commercial, but Bill's playing. It's not somebody's content.
Yeah. This not really. So don't get way too excited here.
Yeah, and you have to blink. Don't blink, guys. Oh, and then you got the buffering. I guess the whole world's watching it right now, Bill. There it goes. There it goes. Everybody out there on the internet's playing this right now.
Yeah, it's like a 10-second clip or 14-second clip that's taken about 3 minutes to play here.
Well, you know what, Bill? Let it buffer a few seconds. We'll come back to it after our discussion's over.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this clip, and I'm waiting for it to pop up, is we've never seen them before announce like what you're seeing right here, the name of the drone. Okay, clearly in the teaser clip, and then also the exact date. It's coming up here too.
You're right. This is almost like a for DJI the pre-acknowledge a product this is almost like a first. It's such a hot product we can't even play the teaser.
Okay, well, due
Folks,
to
you didn't
technical
miss a whole
difficulties,
lot. You didn't miss a
due
whole
to
lot
technical difficulties,
giving you the
it did
data
list
again.
it did list the date. Now I'm going to go ahead and put High Castle put an article up on Drone XL about this, and let's go ahead and do this here. Now it did say that the launch is on March 26th.
Now, what day of the week is that, Bill?
March 26th is a. Let's go ahead and bring that up. That is a Thursday.
That sounds correct. Okay. Sometimes it gives those dates as a weekend, so we know that's not right. But Thursday's the day they release stuff. Okay.
And 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So I think that probably translates to 9 a.m. Eastern Time is kind of what I'm getting here.
Of course, we're on daylight savings time now, Bill.
Exactly. DJI's new teaser strategy reveals a deliberate shift. Avata 360 confirmed as an 8K flagship 360-degree drone launching at a global online event on March 26, 2026 at noon GMT, following a multi-week teaser campaign that names the product and specs well ahead of the announcement date. Departure from DJI's typical one-week drip approach. DJI rumors specialist Jasper Ellens called this shift 4 days ago. In his March 6 article on Drone XL, Jasper reported DJI was planning multiple teaser videos in the weeks before launch, naming March 12th as the next teaser date. He also flagged something I noticed again watching this morning's clip. DJI named the product in resolution in the very first name confirmed teaser. They've never done that before. Usually we get a blurry silhouette and a countdown here. Jasper put it plainly on X this morning. Like I told you, DJI is changing tactics. Today we see a teaser with the product of # Avata 360 and 8K already named. They never did that before. Also, the launch date is mentioned 16 days early. Usually this was a week here. He's right. March 10th to March 26th is exactly 16 days. The old DJI playbook was a one-week drip. This is something different. Above it all, see it all. 26 March 2026, 12 p.m. GMT. And then we go into what we already know about this. What's interesting here, and I found this, is they're offering replacement lenses for $50 a piece, Ron, that you can screw in. All right. Which is, I mean, they learned their lesson from the Osmo 360. Give DJI some credit for that. Okay. Battery pricing leaked at roughly, and they're doing euros here, 70 for one cell, which is cheaper than the 31.8 watt hour. Okay. There's two of the batteries listed. There's a, 38.6 watt hours and a 31.8 watt hours. More capacity, lower price. The drone pairs with the goggles M3 and fits into DJI's existing ecosystem. Weight comes in at close to 400 grams, which means registration and airspace rules apply in most markets. Not a beginner drone, but for content creators who want omnidirectional 8K footage on a platform that connects their existing DJI gear, the Avata 360 looks like the obvious next purchase. DJI naming the product and resolution in the first name confirmed teaser is a direct response to the leak ecosystem that can't stop. Jasper had the name, the pricing, and even the next teaser down before DJI said a public word. So instead of fighting the leaks, DJI is joining the cycle. Release the name early in the conversation build, giving creators and media a longer runway to prepare. Above it all, see it all. And smart. It works in their favor heading into a launch where the competition is anti-gravity A1, a drone DJI clearly intends to price out of consideration before it gets traction. And I kind of want to stop here because I hope you guys watched Drone Nation last night. Ron had a great guest on, Steve. Sorry I didn't catch his last name.
Steve Koos, I believe, is how he pronounces his last name.
Okay. And I think you said he was from British Columbia in Canada.
Yeah, BC. Yep.
Okay. And what a great conversation that was in advance of this information here.
Yeah, because he's like maybe the first person we've had on that actually has the anti-gravity A1, and he did admit he received it from Insta360, did not pay for it. So another person who has the drone did pay for it, but so yeah, it was nice to hear. It was nice to hear his thoughts on it, because he definitely wasn't hard selling it like you've seen some of the influencers do.
Yeah, and I strongly encourage you to watch. If you didn't watch Drone Nation last night, watch that episode, because you'll learn a lot here. All right, and Steve really kind of goes through the ins and outs of anti-gravity. And I think one of the takeaways is, and I think he mentioned it, these drones aren't meant for great distance, is kind of what he was saying, kind of like in a nutshell, because your 360 cameras are not, go 2 miles and come back kind of thing. Okay. It's for close proximity. All right. So that's why, and he also said that it can get real sketchy. Like if you're in, if there's some trees around and other obstacles and things, so that range is really kind of limited. One of the other takeaways that I got too is that their goggles have a battery pack. I think you got to attach it on your belt or something like that.
Which previous to the goggles 3, you had to do it with DJI's goggles too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the goggles 3 was like one of the first ones to build it into like the head strap. So like the Integras, the battery I think you put in a head strap, but it was still in a cord. Yeah. So that setup's not unusual, Bill. And I saw them use it that Ken Heron drove me. Actually, it has like a necklace. It almost hung on a necklace. So it really wasn't as intrusive as, having it on a waist or having it hang off the side of your head or anything.
Right. But the takeaway that I got from it, from that is, correct me if I'm wrong, but Steve liked it, but not enough that it's going to be something that he's going to use all the time going forward, kind of a thing. Am I right in that instance?
Yeah, well, I mean, Steve's new to 360. He just bought the DJI Osmo 360 camera. It's his first 360 camera ever, so he's kind of new to it. And I think that's the whole thing. I mean, there are people out there that only shoot 360 video, what's with a drone or on the ground, but most people use 360 as an accessory, something that they don't, not their daily driver. So that's not
exactly
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So, but I think, one of my big takeaways is, why not try the Avata 360 after that? Because the price point's going to be better on it. You're going to start out, I think, from everything that I'm hearing, about $490 for the drone itself. And because
I caution you, I saw somebody today. We don't know how much the eBay sellers are going to up
right
about that $499. Like it may be $499 if you could fly over and buy it in China at a store or whatever. But buying off something, they got to make their money too on eBay.
Right, and this will be a good time to put it out there. For you, those of you that your pockets are on fire because you have money in them and it's burning a hole, go out and get one. But I can tell you this, and I've mentioned this before, and I've had several people that directly thank me, and mostly for the Neo, okay, that I went out there and I gave them this caution: wait a week, maybe 2 weeks before you go out and look at the prices from the resellers over in Japan and South Korea and China.
Right, because once their sales start slowing down, where they're not selling as quick as they can put them up, they will drop the prices to move the inventory.
Exactly. So wait 2 weeks, okay? Trust me, you're not breaking any new ground. You're not like the first one on the block to have
every big influencer will have the videos up way before you get yours.
Yeah, Potato Jet will have his up. Billy will have his up. Ken will have his up. That kind of thing. So you're not going to be the first on the block with this. All right. So don't worry about that. All right. Worry about trying to get a good deal and a good price. Now, the nice part about this is, and from everything that we have read before so far, is that you really can purchase very minimal type equipment here, probably batteries in the drone itself, because you already more than likely have a
If
controller
you're
that will
deep
work
into
with
the
it.
DJI ecosystem, yes.
Exactly. And
Now,
I think,
if you don't own any DJI products, then the anti-gravity may look like a better buy, because you don't. If you bought a DJI, you'd have to buy controllers, goggles if you want to fly FPV, and that would add up quickly or whatever. But it's cheap if you're already in the DJI ecosystem.
exactly. Ron brings up a great point here. If you already have like an M3 controller or the R2, that kind of thing, I think that's going to really help. The wonderful thing that I saw today in what I read is there's replacement lenses that will be available for at $50, which will be fantastic. And you
No,
can say,
I doubt whether there'll be another 360 camera on the ground or a drone that doesn't come with replaceable
yeah,
lenses.
and that is kudos to DJI, because they learned from their mistake with the Osmo 360 not offering that on there. So because I mean, it'll happen. It's going to happen. So $50 a pop, that's worth it, and they're user replaceable. You don't have to send them off. You can do them yourself, which is absolutely great here.
I'm going to push back on you just a little bit, Bill. I had a conversation with Sean from Air Photography this week, and we talked about it. Both of us have owned several 360 cameras in the past. I think we both owned the Insta360 Spear camera that went on top of the Air 2 and Air 2S to get 360 video. I've never broken or scratched a 360 lens. He hasn't either.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a tremendous marketing campaign by Insta360 to basically convince the whole internet that everybody breaks, their 360 lenses. They don't. I'm sure
I was saying that, Ron.
A lot don't either.
Because how many years have we been flying drones, and how many times we've had maybe a less than perfect landing or bumped into something and everything, and while there may be a scratch on the plastic or something, that the lens is still fine, that there's never been an issue with that.
And the Spear even came with its own landing pad to make sure that you land on the landing pad and not on the grass or cement or a beach or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and see, and that's a good point. I'm glad you brought up your conversation with Sean, because I think that's important for everybody to know that, just because, they're offering that, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to use it. Obviously, it'd be great to have one on hand. Okay. Okay, DD fellows. Thank you for
I'm not denying a lot of people do have this problem, but just as many people don't have that problem either. I mean, even if it's 50-50, not everybody breaks the lens. I mean, if you break lenses, I don't break lenses on my action cameras. I don't break lenses on my real cameras and whatever. I'm just careful with my equipment. I don't break a lot of lenses. I'm not saying I'm better. Maybe I'm just lucky or whatever, but Sean's the same way. Sean doesn't break lenses on his cameras or whatever. Again, it's not like it's a good thing to have, but it's not like Sean at the end of the conversation. Sean said, "I would not let replaceable lenses be my only buying decision on a product."
And that is so right. Thank you, Sean, for that, Ron. And Ron, that's fantastic, because you can't base your decision solely on, well, you know what, it has replaceable lenses. Boom, I'll get it. No, don't be making your decision on that. Make your decision on the quality of the product, and actually when you go out and you see the videos out there, because that's the proof of the pudding, is seeing the videos here. Now, I also have to think, and this is just me, that I think they're going to beef up the Mimo app for this. I think it's going to have a nice of enough update that is you with your Insta360 have said that the app will pre-process that video.
Well, I mean, they already had that because of the Osmo 360, land-based camera. So the app is already bumped up for the 360 video.
Right. So,
and there's a desktop component already, a desktop app too for the Osmo 360. So it'll be the same thing.
It'll be the same thing here. And that's, there's no need for them to reinvent the wheel, because they already have it. And this will be great.
It's probably like 95% the same technology they have in the Osmo 360.
Yeah, it has to be, Ron.
I mean, sure, there's slight improvements because it's 6-9 months down the road. So there'll be
Right.
improvements,
Right.
but it'll be basically the same
But
thing.
I think there'll probably be a firmware up. You'll see a firmware update for updates to the app itself.
I'm sure the app will get more features too.
Yeah, yeah, and follow those instructions, before. And what it does is, just for those of you who haven't been in the conversation here, I just want to kind of bring everybody in and have them on the same page. You just don't, for a 360 camera, okay, you just don't like, oh, okay, it's on the SD card, plop it in my computer, load it on DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut. No, you
No,
don't do that. Okay,
no.
you got to pre-process it. And that's why you run it through like the Mimo app or this desktop app to do that, which will make it so much easier when you import it into Final Cut or DaVinci or whatever you use to process your video.
And now if you don't have DaVinci or Final Cut, you don't need those two. You can do a complete edit just in the the DJI app or whatever.
Exactly.
You won't have all the bells and whistles, but you'll be able to put a finished video right from DJI's own software. Just
Exactly.
like you can go shoot Action 6 video and do the whole edit in the Mimo app. You don't need to take it into Final Cut or Resolve or Premiere.
Well,
I think he places the order with Evelyn Chan today. I guess Evelyn's doing pre-sales.
Yeah, well, no, that's for the Osmo 360. Josh got.
Oh, okay, not the.
But Johnny did say that up here a little earlier, and I'm trying to find that. Yeah, here we go. Evelyn Chan will be getting some Avata 360. She said so. So there's your connection there. And I have to say this: she has run. I'll tell you what. I've never had a seller. Okay, she emailed me at least 10 pictures of the box. Okay, and everything because I ordered a number of items off of her, at least 10 pictures of it and a short video clip of everything that was in the box before she shipped it. Okay. How many sellers do you run into to do that? Okay.
Hey Bill, find out how good Evelyn's English is. Maybe have her on as a guest sometime.
Yeah, that would probably be very, very good. Of course,
if she was comfortable enough with her English to come on. Yeah.
Well, I think I would have to
admit my Mandarin's a little rusty.
I would probably have to pre-record something like that because the time difference.
Yeah, this is probably the middle of the night for her. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, she's another. I should be getting my things coming up in a couple of days, and I'm really excited about that. So, with this, all right, and the pricing, we pretty much have a great idea on what the pricing is going to be here with this. And I think, if you're in the DJI ecosystem, as we already stated here, this will not be that expensive of a purchase for you. All right. Obviously, if you want to get, and this is the route I would go, would maybe to be just buy the Avata 360 itself. And then if you need to get like a charging hub or batteries, go see Evelyn. I know she'll have them out there, or, and Evelyn, and I'll tell you this, she has great prices out there. I'm telling you, compared to everybody else out on eBay.
She's very competitive.
She's extremely competitive with her pricing. So you definitely want to check her out. She's out on Facebook. I dropped the link, I think, a couple of weeks ago in the description from Rotor Talk to pull it. And all you got to do is message her. She sends you a PayPal invoice, and it lists everything that you ordered, the pricing on everything, and the total. Okay, it's real. It's super.
If you have any qualms, Johnny will put the good word in for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was, I also tried to thought on Avata and getting it. I mean, Bill, I only half jokingly say, well, I only need the one battery because if that flies for 20 minutes or so, what am I going to do with more than 20 minutes of 360 footage, Bill?
That's very true.
It takes hours of time to edit a couple minutes of 360 video. If I shot 20 minutes of 360 video, I'd be editing for this whole season. I'd take my spring would be over before I got it all edited.
Yeah, it would.
We talked about this briefly last night, and I think we mentioned this last week, Bill, too. I think the only thing you're going to be missing, like Bill, you intend to get it and fly it with the with the controller, like a standard drone. And,
Right.
and like I think we mentioned last week, whatever. And when you shoot with a 360 camera in your handheld, you're not seeing it in 360. You're seeing in 2D. You don't see it until 360 until you get in the editor. But when you're flying the Avata 360 with the controller, whether it's got app in or the phone or whatever, you're seeing in 2D. You're going to be missed out on that whole immersive experience that anti-gravity advertises, that when you're up there flying around, you can look all around with the goggles and the drone doesn't move. And you can see what's around you, any direction. You can just plop the drone in the middle of the air, right? And check everything out above you, below you, to the side of you. And with us going with the 499 kit, we're going to lose that whole immersive experience of not seeing everything. Now that may not mean a hill of beans to you, Bill. But that's what anti-gravity is hanging their hat on, that they have this experience. And what we don't know, if you put the DJI goggles on, will you have that same immersive experience as people are getting with the anti-gravity? We don't know that. We won't know that until the 26th.
Well, my guess is, Ron, that we will have that same kind of experience here, because I don't think DJI would not have done something like that. Okay. The other thing is with that, all right, and this is me, because I can't do that. It's just like, spatial awareness, that kind of thing. I know Marcus is kind of the same way as well. But think about this, okay? And I'll equate it in real simple terms, okay? A pilot in a regular airplane, all right? He needs to have, complete vision and awareness of his senses, okay? Yeah. Now, you can get what's called an instrument rating, where you don't even look out the window. You base all your flying on what you see in your instruments in front of you, okay? Mm-hmm. So, if you are, if you're wearing the goggles, and let's say, you're looking to the side, but you're going forward, and it doesn't look right, it's like, it's really easy I think it's a gift that be able to fly this like with goggles, okay? Because I need to see, when I'm going forward, I need to see going forward. When I'm, when I put the throttle stick back and I'm backing up, I need to know that I'm backing up, and I have that capability now, like through the Mavic 4 Pro with the sensors having their small cameras, that kind of
Bill,
thing. Right?
Didi may be able to back me up here, but when I was at the meetup and saw it, I think the anti-gravity, if you're looking to the side and flying forward, another little window pops up, kind of like in the DJI on the DJI controller, showing you what's in front of you. In a little window, you see what's in front of you while you're looking at the side, if you're flying forward, or if you're flying backward. You get me? That little box pops up, showing just what you're talking about. It shows what's in the direction from you, but you can still look to the side and still see what's in front of you in that little window.
Exactly.
Kinda
Okay,
like
that's a great point.
Technology. So
that's a great point, because you need to be aware of your surroundings at all time. Okay, and that's as being, whether you're flying under Part 107 or not, that's part of being a responsible drone pilot, is situational awareness. All right, and I want
because of the goggles, you would technically need a spotter, Bill.
Exactly. Okay, and you definitely do need to do that. So when you guys are doing this, somebody has to be there with you. You have to have a spotter, because they need to know where that drone is, so they can relay that information to you. Because
where you're flying with the standard controller with the Avata 360, you will not need a spotter, because you will have line of sight and situational awareness around you. And to my point earlier, you don't need to see in 360, record 360 video. When you walk around with an X5 or a Osmo 360, you're not seeing it in 360 when you're filming it. You're only seeing it in 360 once you get in the editor. So that's not going to hurt you, Bill, by not using the goggles, as far as recording the video you want to get.
Right.
Yeah. Didi Fells is backing me up. It has the picture-in-picture, the deal. What would you talk about, Bill? So you don't run into something when you're looking sideways.
That's a good thing. That's a
real good thing. That has optical avoidance. So of course, if it's not a thin branch or something like that, you're probably okay. What we didn't say, Bill, is I keep losing my train of thought on this pretty much confirms that the Avata will not be an under 250 gram drone. And we kind of thought that it may be an under 250-gram drone for a long time now. What do you think that does to the market? Because there are a lot of people out there that will not buy a over 250-gram drone these days.
True. That's going to affect people like our friends up in Canada. That's going to affect people over in the European EU and in the UK because they have rules regarding 249 grams and above, and it means they have to probably use their license to be able to fly that. So yeah, it's probably going to curtail some sales over there.
That could push a few sales towards anti-gravity then, right?
Possibly, but again, with anti-gravity, from what Steve was saying last night, it sounds like that range is extremely limited with the anti-gravity, where I'm not hearing anything on that. Of course, we haven't really seen anything as far as the Avata 360 is concerned, but I've got to think that they're going to have some kind of, they'll have one of the OcuSyncs on the Avata 360, and that you'll get a decent transmission range.
Yeah.
No idea what it is.
Probably the most recent one. I don't think they'll come up with a new one for the 360.
Right.
Know that.
Right. It's not. They're not going to reinvent the wheel for this because they wanted to keep it within the ecosystem and to be able to use other controllers that have that OcuSync. Yeah. So.
Bill, I don't want to lose his comment. DD Phelps made it a long time ago. I don't think you can get back to it. But he said he just recently he flew the anti-gravity drone 5,000 feet out without any loss of transmission. So not everybody's getting the same. I'm going to say getting the same mileage on the anti-gravity drone. Some people don't seem to have any problems with it. And DD has videos where he flies it way out over mountains or whatever. So maybe it's more people that fly in a heavily infested Wi-Fi area have problems. So maybe it's more interference.
That's very possible.
Than it is, signal.
Yeah, because I know if I fly, for example, in an area where there's a lot of housing and developments and things like that, and there's some Wi-Fi in there, it can kind of get a little wonky with as far as the signal strength is concerned. But if I'm flying in an area where there's not a lot of, like residential homes and things like that, that's not really a problem. I don't get any kickback from something like that. But yeah, you're right. And it all depends on your physical environment that you're going to fly in, because it's going to be different for Ron. It's going to be different for me. It's going to be different for Marcus. It's going to be different for Johnny, for everybody, because of the areas that they fly in. And a lot of the instances, they may not have cell towers may come into it as well too, because those, just because you don't see them doesn't mean that those waves aren't there. And you have to keep that signal rejecting it. And DJI does a great job with that with the drone. So it's a delicate balance with all that. Okay. And with the anti-gravity here, who knows as far as that's concerned. But I see a very complicated system with the anti-gravity, Ron. It seems like there's a lot of parts to that. And and I think one of the big things that they did, in my opinion, to shoot themselves in the foot is that they didn't offer a regular controller type option with that. All right. Because I think
he posted a screenshot that they have of the regular controller. Actually, they had the drone flying on a regular controller. So that is leaked and supposedly coming out, I believe, in June, maybe July. So that is coming. But I think we've talked about this before, Bill. They should have had that ready to go from the beginning.
Right, I agree.
Now they're going to bring this out after it's too late, after DJI has already released theirs.
Exactly. So I think we're at the end right now. And if you have any closing thoughts here, Ron, about everything.
We didn't talk about this too much, but you said about this is kind of unusual for DJI to release a teaser like this. And it is. Do you think this is good? Is this something you think DJI should have been doing all along, announcing products kind of ahead of time and putting dates and stuff out there, or sticking to they adopt what I call the Apple method, where Apple, you don't know if Apple's released the product until the day it's released or whatever. They never acknowledge anything. So DJI followed the Apple way of releasing things rather than say the old Microsoft way. Well, Microsoft, they used to announce something a year ahead of time to come out. So do you like this announcing things ahead of time, or do you like it just to drop all in the same day?
I like it ahead of time, Ron, because it builds that excitement up. All right. And because I majored in business, that's one of the things that in marketing that you learn early on is you want to get the consumer excited about the product. You want to get them engaged with the product. So the more information that comes out before that product release, the better for the consumer here. All right. And, having specifics like date and time of the release, having some figures, just some basic specs out there, basic pricing out there, that's going to go very well for them because consumers can plan, they can budget accordingly, and they know when this is coming. They'll have an idea of that. So, it really helps engage them. And that's the whole point behind all of this. And, they were kind of doing it all along, when they were using Acetalev and then now Jasper Ellens and Igor, that was all good, but it was kind of behind the scenes. Well, this is directly up front. They're challenging
from the horse's mouth. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, and I think
I'm going to play devil's advocate on here. That everything you said is great. It makes a perfect sense. But you know what happens? And I hate to use Microsoft Apple, but how many times did Microsoft announce some big software release something that was coming in a year, and guess what? The year would come and it wouldn't be ready. It wouldn't come out. So the worst thing to do is promise something, not deliver it. Where Steve Jobs won that race by walking out and saying, the new iPhone's available today. He wouldn't come out and say it's available next year or available in 6 months or whatever. He would say, it's available tomorrow. So that really, people kind of like when something's ready right away and not they have to sit around and wait forever and ever, and then it gets delayed. If you never announce it gets delayed, then it's not really delayed because nobody knows it.
Exactly. And you brought up a good...
My point is there's a good and bad to both arguments.
Question of the day. What did you think of DJI Avata 360 release date set? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.